We've seen a multitude of Motorolas this year. The last few months have revealed the Moto Z2 Play, the Moto Z2 Force, the Moto E4, and the E4 Plus, all coming hot on the heels of the reigning budget champion, the Moto G5 Plus, and don't forget the Moto G5S. Now Motorola has revived its X range in a totally new form with the Moto X4, which we managed to get our hands on at Lenovo's IFA event in Berlin. Motorola's mastery of the budget Android smartphone market is well established, and the company has pushed the boundaries of what we can expect from inexpensive phones. The X4 does the same for the mid-range sector, with a dual camera, an aluminum frame sandwiched by glass, and some really nifty software tricks. Are there too many Motos now? Having spent a bit of time with the latest release, we think there's room for one more in our Moto X4 hands-on review. Glass front and back. The Moto X4 is a seriously shiny smartphone. The metal and glass blend is a familiar design aesthetic, popularized by high-end phones, but the X4 costs just €400, around $475. The gentle curves in the glass back make it comfortable to hold, and the finish comes in a classy black or reflective silver. The trademark round camera module on the back protrudes and houses a dual camera setup. The metal frame is solid, blending into the glass front and back. On the front of the X4, you'll find a recessed fingerprint sensor below the 5.2-inch screen, with a 16-megapixel selfie camera above. The screen is bright and the 1,080p resolution looks sharp. It feels well made and we like the subtly textured finish on the back, as well as the ribbed design that circles the camera module. Motorola is not yet on board with the move towards bezel-less design, because the Moto X4 has pretty hefty bezels top and bottom and a frame round the sides of the screen. As a result, the body feels a bit bigger than it really needs to be. Still, this is a mid-range phone, so it's unfair to compare it with something like the Galaxy S8 or LG V30. Selective focus with the dual camera. The first feature we really wanted to try out was the dual camera, which is fast becoming an expectation in new smartphones. The Moto X4 pairs a 12-megapixel sensor with an f/2 aperture and a wide-angle 8-megapixel sensor with an f/2.2 aperture. The selective focus mode allows you to pick a subject to focus on and blur the background or the foreground. If you're a fan of bokeh effects, then it's going to grab your attention. Selective focus seems to work pretty well, provided you take your time and your subject doesn't move. The Moto X4 is very slow to process shots, though, so be prepared to wait. Having said that, a Motorola spokesperson told us the software isn't final,